I'm Ernie Garilao of the Zwilig Family Foundation. Welcome back to the Bridging Leadership module. In part 1 of this module, we learned that bridging leadership begins when a leader owns a social problem and commits to solving it by making a personal response. We call this process ownership. Here in part 2, we will talk about the second and third processes in the bridging leadership framework: co-ownership and co-creation. A problem affects various people. As a bridging leader, you must bring these people and other stakeholders together to acknowledge the problem. And together, you arrive at a shared vision. When you do this, the problem is no longer just your personal concern, but a concern of the entire community. This is co-ownership. Together with stakeholders, a bridging leader must be able to facilitate the creation of new strategies that can address the problem. These new strategies are also called new institutional arrangements. You can ensure the sustainability of a strategy by empowering the stakeholders or your own community to run the program. This is called co-creation. Let's go through these processes. First, you need to identify the stakeholders and their roles in the problem. Consider the following. Who are affected by the problem? How are they affected by it? What factors affect their behavior or response? How does their action or inaction affect the problem? An important tool in this process is dialogue, through which you build understanding and trust among your stakeholders. Once you have understanding and trust, it will be easier to create shared responses and new strategies. Arriving at a shared vision, however, is not always easy unless everyone agrees on an issue. But having various stakeholders means having different and oftentimes conflicting views and perspectives. Remember though, every view and perspective is valid. And the challenge to the leader then is finding ways to reconcile these and arrive at a response acceptable to all, or at least to the majority. Remember Mayor Belman Mantos from the ownership session? We discussed how he assumed ownership of the problems of his municipality. He did this by reflecting on his personal values, understanding the social problem, and then making a personal response to solve it. Now we will discuss how he was able to undergo co-ownership and co-creation.
Ang problemang malaki sa amin ay ang kahirapan. Mahirap ang access sa basic services dahil coastal at upland ang area namin. Pag nasa malayo yung barangay ka, tulad ng barangay Sunggoy, tiyak na malaki ang posibilidad na hindi ka makatapos. Hindi ka makapag-check up at makapagamot dahil malayo ang tatawirin mo. Pag hindi ka nakapag-aral at hindi mabuti ang lagay ng kulusugan mo, mahihirapan ka magtrabaho. Malaking hamon talaga ang mapagserbisyuhan sila. Itong mga problema ito ay dapat masolusyonan natin.
Mayor Mantos convened the Municipal Development Council to share his personal response and understanding of the problems in the municipality. Through dialogue, stakeholders were able to reconcile their views and agree on what actions to take.
Kailangan alam naming lahat ang mga problema ng munisipyo at sabay-sabay naming susolusyonan ito. Hindi pwedeng ako lang dahil hindi ko kayang gawin lahat. Masyadong malaki ang problema eh. Kaya importante ang kanilang kontribusyon sa pagre-resolba ng mga problemang ito.
They partnered with DSWD on the Kapit Bisig Laban sa Kahirapan Comprehensive Integrated Delivery of Social Service Program, or Kalahi SIDS. They also worked with ZFF to improve San Pablo's local health system, capacitating health workers, strengthening health programs, and enacting an ordinance banning home births. San Pablo was able to bring down their maternal mortality ratio of 774 in 2009 to 0 the following year.
Mahirap nung una. Madaming kontra kasi bago pa naman. Pero sabi ko nga, kahit di nyo ako iboto, basta mabuhay ang misis at anak ninyo. Yun ang mahalaga. Sa patuloy na pagpapaliwanag at pagpupursige, naintindihan din naman nila nung tumagal.
Listening to Mayor Mantos' story, a couple of things struck me as key to understanding his success in facilitating co-ownership and co-creation. First, he acknowledges that he alone cannot solve the community problems. So he needs to work with the community and other development partners. And second, he uses dialogue as a way to understand the problem and to engage stakeholders into collective action. Let's recap. The bridging leader, as discussed in Part 1, first takes personal ownership of the problem and commits to solving it. He or she then ensures co-ownership of the problem by engaging the stakeholders through dialogue. Finally, he or she works with the stakeholders to create strategies which can solve the social problem. These strategies must be widely accepted by the community. It must also be sustainable. That's it for the Bridging Leadership module. I hope you found our discussions useful. If you would like to know more about the Bridging Leadership in Health, the Zwillig Family Foundation provides training programs for government health agencies and local chief executives and provincial and municipal health leaders. Again, I'm Ernie Garilao of the Zwillig Family Foundation. I hope you learned valuable lessons in our sessions. Thank you.